Good evening, everyone. I'm Sophie Erber. Steve Asplin has the night off. Tonight on your TV6 Early News, saying their final goodbyes to the late mayor of Marquette, friends, family, and those he served the public with, honoring Tom Baldini. Turning to the weather, flooding that occurred over the weekend in Chocolate Township has been cleaned up today. And as temperatures dip down into the single digits, your smartphone is at risk for serious damage. Below freezing temperatures can cause problems with their lithium-ion batteries. An Iron Mountain man tonight is making a name for himself in the music business. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sophie Erber. Greg Trick has the night off. The future of medical marijuana clinics and a possible dispensary in Portage Township are still up in the air tonight after a meeting. Our main question is, what really brought you to the COCHRAN case? Because I know it kind of went national in Rolling Stone magazine for a little bit, but what intrigued you enough to do a story on her?
Well, I think it's one of those fascinating cases where they
would have to kill the person that they cheated with. Have you ever heard of anything like this and covering all the unusual stories that you've covered?
You know, I've been doing this for 36 years and I've never ever heard of something so bizarre as that. I mean, who does that?
The investigation is underway tonight after a fire broke out at a public works facility downstate. Tonight, the Grand Rapids police chief is saying video of an 11-year-old girl being handcuffed at gunpoint makes him, quote, nauseous. This is the video released from dash cam. Turning now to the weather, the central UP got the majority of the snow in last night's system. Rapid River saw the most. All right, thanks a lot, Carl. Authorities in Southern California tonight say the Thomas Fire in Ventura County has consumed more than 236,000 acres, and so far it's cost taxpayers $55.6 million. Officials tonight have released the name of the driver killed in yesterday's crash in ESCANABA. The Cavs tonight continue their 4-game win streak at the expense of the Pistons. It's their first matchup of the season. Let's get right to the action, and it didn't take long. First quarter, LeBron James comes out looking aggressive. First on the break, he crosses over into the lane and gets the layup off the glass.
A special treat this morning.
Michigan State police troopers came to the class to make pancakes for roughly 25 students. The tradition was started by Trooper Dave Cohen 7 years ago. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's day 2 of the 48-hour strike where hundreds of nurses have been picketing outside UP Health System Marquette. The hospital just released a statement clarifying there will be no lockout tomorrow when the strike concludes. They said the temporary nurses are required to work a minimum of 5 days and may be fully staffed with those replacements until October 9th. Now tonight, TV6's Nicole Buckman joins us live in the studio with much more from the hospital and from the picket line. Nicole?
Helicopter hovering above the break.
That's a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter from Traverse City. As the Coast Guard confirms tonight, there is an active water rescue underway at this hour at Black Rocks in Marquette. That's in Presque Isle Park. This as we're getting reports of potentially 2 individuals who fell into the water. Officials are still trying to verify that information. Now, the Marquette City Police Department received calls around 1:35 p.m. that possibly a man and a woman were swept into the water at Black Rocks. The Coast Guard says that at the time there were 25 to 30-foot waves hitting those rocks. Police and fire department personnel are still currently on the scene. At this time, police are unable to confirm whether or not those people were in fact swept into Lake Superior. Nurses tonight continue to walk the picket line in Marquette after walking off the job at 7 this morning. This is a live look outside the hospital. The ongoing issue centers around failed contract negotiations with UP Health System Marquette. Here's what we know right now. Since that strike began at 7 this morning, the hospital is still open for business. And TV6's Nicole Buckman has been covering this labor dispute since it all began. She joins us now live from the outside of the hospital with the very latest. Nicole? That's right, you have to see this. While being towed by a vehicle, Graham Bell made his record-setting run in Sweden. He teamed up with Jaguar to make the attempt. World record. Would you ever do that, Greg?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't want to wipe out going 117 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be serious injury or death.
Certainly would.
Yeah.
Discovering comes your way next.
Have a great night, everyone. Welcome back. As temperatures drop, your gas bill tends to rise. An Iron County man convicted of murdering his stepdaughter has been sent to prison. The White House tonight is addressing a few top concerns for the Trump administration, including how to stop North Korea's nuclear threats and how to ensure support for the GOP's tax reform efforts. All this as women accusing Roy Moore of sexual misconduct speak out for the first time. And Marquette was hit hard with damage as winds gusted as high as 53.9 miles per hour, causing around 600 Marquette BLP customers to lose power. This morning around 10:30, gusts caused a large tree to come crashing down on Erie Avenue, obstructing access to the road off Wright Street.
2 French wingsuit flyers have pulled off a breathtaking stunt over the Swiss Alps.
That's right. Check this out. The two took more than 100 practice flights to perfect and coordinate the hazardous stunt with an airplane pilot and navigator. The first attempt had to be abandoned, but eventually conditions were just right. The flyers prepared themselves at the top of the mountain and then jumped off at the navigator's command. As the plane descended, the 2 flyers glided into position and flipped themselves inside the open cabin door. Incredible. Both landed awkwardly but safely. It could have all ended in disaster for the two. In an earlier attempt, you see there, the flyers fell short of their target, hitting the door frame before dropping away to glide safely back to Earth. That's terrifying. These guys were so talented in the craziest ways.
It's amazing what they can do. It almost looks like it'll be maybe a movie stunt somewhere down the road.
Actually, Greg, it's funny you said that. These wingsuit flyers have made a movie.
Well, what do you know?
There you go.
Well, that will do it for your TV6 News tonight. Wheel of Fortune is next.
Good night, everyone. You have to see this. The unicyclist named Vincenzo cycled more than 4 miles over the weekend in Vancouver, unofficially breaking the old record by about 0.9 miles. The feat was witnessed by Guinness officials and recorded, but it still needs to be certified. Vincenzo took up riding a unicycle about 2 years ago. He just added juggling to his skill set last year. That's wildly impressive on every level. The big reveal is next Tuesday, but we caught up with the artist to learn about his unique technique. Earl Senek uses epoxy and a special material called moulage to create a mold. Goldilocks, the oldest living polar bear in captivity in the U.S., has turned 37 years old. Check this out. The Philadelphia Zoo celebrated her big day with a cake only a polar bear could love. Made of peanut butter, honey, raisins, and fish. Guests at the zoo sang happy birthday and watched as Goldilocks enjoyed her cake. Zoo officials say most polar bears only live for 23 years in captivity. They credit her long life to the care she receives from the zoo's veterinary staff and her keepers. She lived at the zoo since 1981, most of the time with her mate, Klondike. What a perfect name for a polar bear. And that does it for your TV6 News tonight. Thanks for joining us. Wheel of Fortune is next. Have a great night, everyone. So snowbirds from Upper Michigan, if you head on down to that area, you can check it out. And I can attest to this. I've actually jet skied through those waters, and you could see manatees, you could see bull sharks, stay away from those. You could see stingrays flapping around near the surface. It's teeming with wildlife.
They're impressive creatures.
They are.
Huge. Have you been to that viewing center before?
I have, and I know, Greg, it's your dream to pet a manatee, right?
You can't do that, though, right? It's illegal.
It is illegal, but, you know.
I have gone swimming
Maybe
with them
someday.
before, and you know, they look like such imposing creatures. To honor the tropical fruit that's famous for its pungent smell, but also its sweet taste.
That's right. The town is known for its production of durian. Tourists from around Malaysia and overseas flock to the small town to eat the savory fruit. Durian is a thorny tropical fruit found only in Southeast Asia and has sparked mixed reactions among consumers. Greg, you've tasted it and you like it, right?
Yeah, I'm one of those rare people that actually likes durian.
Yeah.
It does start to smell after a while, but
right.
I don't know, I kind of like the taste.
Maybe people just haven't had it fresh like you have.
Especially when it's fresh and you crack it open just like that.
Yeah.